possibly for the Dolphins were not really that bad.
Edwards runs into his own man and spun down. Hayden Hurst lost a helmet on the play. Christian Wilkins, the first-round pick out of Clemson, one of the first to get back there from Miami.
Fullback with Pope as the tailback. And Pope is hit behind the line of scrimmage. Nothing there.
Namely because they keep picking up these third downs. Darnold on 3rd and 3. Here they come. Darnold unable to escape. First time they get to him. That's Christian Wilkins. Darnold hoping for some fourth quarter magic here against Miami. Bell ripped up.
2nd and 6. Dalton pressured by Wilkins, and Wilkins is going to get there. He caught a touchdown in the first half, and now he's got a sack in the second half, his second of the season.
Cam falls down back at the 37. "18 seconds, and what will Cam do? He'll get taken down." Nice play.
Won 2 Super Bowls there and then finished out his executive career as the GM of the San Diego Chargers at the time. Beathard goes down. Emmanuel Ogbah got in there, and that ball came out loose. We'll see what the ruling's going to be. It's going to be Miami football officially.
That point differential in the first 5 weeks, they were getting just wasted every week, and he held this team together.
3rd and 6. Flacco in trouble, and down he goes. Christian Wilkins with the sack.
And they leave the defense scrambling to call different calls. Goff was under pressure. The pass is picked off. He was looking for Cooper Kupp. Christian Wilkins comes up with the interception. First of his career.
3rd straight run. Dolphins were ready for it this time as Christian Wilkins crashes in the backfield for a loss of 1.
Yeah, you know, you had several of those streaks, too, by the Patriots during their time. 3rd and 6.
Oh, they got him.
Wilkins with the sack.
Sony Michel in for Damian Harris. Harris was averaging just over 5 yards a carry. Option pitch. Dolphins read it perfectly with Wilkins there to greet Sony Michel. A loss of 2 on the play.
They're the 1st and 10. They come off the side. Jones and a fumble on the play, and Smith will jump on it.
I think Brissett's playing pretty well.
Well, here's Allen on 3rd and 10. They do pass, and it's deflected in the air. Almost disastrous.
Carl is sacked. Steps up and gets crushed on the play by Christian Wilkins. So the Raiders take over with a 25-17 lead, 4:29 to play in the 4th quarter. On the ground, nothing there. Barber tried to cut it.
It was interesting to me. Would you continue to run to the left, or would you spread it out? They certainly spread it out. Hines. Little cutback maneuver, but terrific pursuit by Miami. See the red zone offensive numbers. Back to the ground game. Taylor stuffed. Christian Wilkins.
2nd down and 9. Moving up. Look out from the side. Here comes Wilkins, your college teammate at Clemson. A fumble, and Sealer will fall on it.
At its own 26-yard line. And a handoff to Singletary on 1st down. He runs into his own man. He ran right into his center, Mitch Morse. And then Christian Wilkins was able to make the tackle.
1, if not 2, 300-pounders kind of leading the way for him.
Hand off to Freeman, and he's wrapped up in the backfield by Ogbah. Coming off a game with 2.5 sacks. He got through in a loss of 1.
You know, really gets us a chance to see what Elijah Moore can do.
Flacco hit from behind. Ball is out, and the Dolphins have it. Now it's on the ground again. Let's see who comes up with it here. Looks like Miami. thought about running, but he's going to be sacked. Back at the 24-yard line, Christian Wilkins.
That was a mouthful, I know, but
loss of 5 on the previous play, 2nd and 15, and Wilson to throw. That's complete. Just to throw. No, and the ball is dropped incomplete. Jamison Crowder had it, and then he didn't have it. 1st and goal.
Fullback, little Christian Wilkins in at fullback.
Tua throwing. Touchdown. Christian Wilkins. Penalty flag is down. Carter going nowhere.
3rd down and 6. Here comes the pressure. It's picked up nicely. Now Book has to run, try to get out of there. And he'll go down. Sacked at the 19-yard line. Emmanuel Ogbah.
It's Foreman hit behind the line and taken down. What a nice play there by Landon Roberts. James Fitzpatrick in the game. Nice hit right there, shooting through. Wilkins throwing him Mel for a 3-yard loss.
They get after you.
On 2nd and 5. Dolphins get the push they were looking for. Brandon Bolden going backwards, and it was Christian Wilkins.
Hitting in there on the offensive line.
Here's Matt Jones, and he's buried.
2nd and 17. Montgomery, he's not going anywhere. This time it's Christian Wilkins.
And that touchdown there in the 2nd quarter.
2nd down, long yard. Kenyon Drake recently signed. He was signed in the preseason. In the pistol with Hill. Hill has it. Cuts, slips, tackle. Nice play. Christian Wilkins got him. Phillips came over there to finish him off in a loss of 2, and they're back to the 28.
Penalty on 1st down. Put him at 2nd and extra long.
1st and 10. Wrapped up, taken down. Wilkins got in there and throws him for a 2-yard loss. Breece Hall, a running back. Bottom of your screen, wide, 3rd and a short 3. Batted down inside, right in that passing lane. Zach Wilson with the 1st and 10. Breece Hall hit and taken down. Nice play defensively there, Christian Wilkins.
I would have never thought they were going for the fake. Short field for the Vikings. They get it into the hands of Jefferson. It's only good when it works, Kenny. 2nd down and 15 as Dalvin Cook is bottled up. It's Wilkins again, and I know you had a chance to visit.
The defensive player kicked it, but that's a smart move, and you're getting a little tired.
Hand off to Swift, and he runs into his own man.
They did a couple of pass plays to kind of change up some of those tendencies.
Hand off, jet sweep, Montgomery. Nice hit by Wilkins and Russell down. As Montgomery, Mel loses a yard.
Then just pick up positive yardage.
So on 2nd and 4, play fake Chubb this time, and Brissett running out of time and goes down. Bradley Chubb along with Christian Wilkins. Brissett under pressure, and he's going to go down. Christian Wilkins, Melvin Ingram.
Pierce desperately trying to find some daylight
to kind of keep that urgency that they play with. Certainly hasn't happened in the 2nd half.
1st and 20 after the penalty. Pierce, tremendous pursuit.
Gave up 33 last week against the Niners. 30 or more 4 times this year. But they do have big playmakers, and Chris highlighted them before. Christian Wilkins, the 1st-round pick in 2019, has been fabulous.
We're seeing it here again tonight.
He had completed 10 in a row before that last one. Look out, Wilkins coming, he's got him. Christian Wilkins, 2.5 sacks.
Here's that 2-on-2 matchup on the right side.
Allen looking, backside pressure comes, he's hit, the ball is out, Miami's got it!
Of course.
Jalen Phillips with the strip sack, and the Dolphins recover. Christian Wilkins had it bounce right up to him.
Looks like Henry fell down on top of him in an awkward position. Jones under pressure. Jones is sacked. Back in New England territory by Christian Wilkins, who gets home for Miami.
Ty Johnson hit in the backfield and dropped. Christian Wilkins, who has more tackles for a D lineman than anybody in the last 25 years.
Buffalo's 4 for its last 4 on third down conversions. They pick up a blitz. They're still surrounding the quarterback, and they sack him for the second time in this game. Back at the 14-yard line, it was Christian Wilkins who got to him first, and that will lead to a field goal attempt. Only 38 yards of offense in this quarter as Allen just gets back to the line of scrimmage. It's Sealer who brought him down.
Quentin Johnson is number 1. It's Herbert. It goes to the aforementioned Johnson, read well by the Miami defense. Wilkins again.
From the 30, Jones trying to step up. As you mentioned, Andrew Van Ginkel joined Christian Wilkins as they combine on that one.
Watch Kincaid and then the quarterback's legs.
3rd and 5. He was going there, Tony. Look at this. Wanted to.
Oh, they should have called it probably.
3rd down and 8. Jones under pressure. He was sacked 10 times on Monday night. Down he goes. Christian Wilkins along with Emmanuel Ogbah.
5-man rush. Young, look out for Wilkins. And Chubb. Down he goes. Chuba out of the back. It's 1st and 10. They come through and they got him. Wilkins for a second time today brings down the Carolina quarterback.
3rd and 8. Everything covered. Hurts had it knocked down. It's free, and the Dolphins have it. That was Phillips on the pass rush who got in, and Christian Wilkins comes up with it. And on the turnover, a short field for the Dolphins. Jones needs a play right here. 3rd and 5. They protect him well, and now they don't. Christian Wilkins, first sack of Jones this afternoon.
That was Hardman getting it, and Wilkins had none of it. Third and 1. Jacobs the call. Grabbed. And he was hit initially in there by Wilkins, who would not let go.
Boyle, look out. Sacked. 36 ball is out, but he was down. Play is over. Among other things, 2nd down and 6. Look out. Barreling in, Wilkins.
This league is about players, not necessarily plays. Where's number 10?
Can't find him because they can't protect him. Christian Wilkins is having a Pro Bowl kind of season.
A backup performance that matches it. Certainly sharp with his first throw. Here he is on 1st down, running.
And the ball comes out. That's a fumble. And it's recovered at the 1-yard line by Zach Sealer, who had a touchdown 6 days ago against Tennessee.
I don't think it's much to speculate. You know Ben's going to knock it down.
Hand it to Gordon. Stiff arm. And then he's brought down. Chubb goes down on the play, and Chubb is injured.
Miami brings 4. Allen in trouble. Lost the football is taken away from him. Christian Wilkins going in for the sack. Came in and took it away. Buffalo's turned it over again. The 3rd time tonight.